Thank you very much, host Senator. And now I will proceed to invite myself to make my remarks. I think I had dispensed with the protocols, Baba and our CS Matiang and the CS Environment and CS Devolution and all leaders. On behalf of the people of Makueni, we really invite the rest of Kenya to this 7th annual Devolution conference, which will mark the end of the annual happening of this event. So, karibuni sana. Please enjoy yourselves in the conferences, in the breakouts, and in Makueni at large. We have purpose to be very generous so that you have a good time. When we went to Kirinyaga last time, they had a bit of challenge with English. They have a motto, Kirinyaga is rising, but some of them were saying Kirinyaga is lysing. We have also a challenge with Glasgow, and some of our people are saying Glasgow. And so this is our Glasgow. And so coming to the, in the hills of COP26, this is really a very important event, and particularly when it is addressing subnational matters of climate change. So it is like we were prophetic, chair of council, when we thought that this should be the theme of this meeting. Honorable the Prime Minister, devolution has really come of age. These 9 years going into 10 years, many things have happened, and when you visited the exhibitions, you were able to see some of the innovations, some of the things that are happening in each of our 47 counties. And we are happy to note that in this meeting, as we consider where devolution has gone, as we consider climate change, we are happy, very happy to note that devolution really has settled and it is irreversible. And one of the things that indicate this to me is even in the sphere of climate change, counties have actually done more than was expected. Because although it may be a relatively new phenomenon on the continent in terms of dealing with climate change, about now 33 counties have already passed climate change legal framework after policy and even dedicated funds for climate change adaptation. And that in itself says volumes about how these counties are considering the challenge of climate change. And as the speaker from the National Treasury on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary said, the question now is really working together to make sure that there is funding at these levels. And indeed, even when the interfaith group, I think led by Archbishop of Nyeri, Moheria, those faith people focused on, again, the question of funding. And we hope in this meeting, we are going to have a very robust resolution saying how this will happen in a very concrete way so that we don't talk, go away, and nothing much happens thereafter. And even the 14 counties that have not passed this legal and policy framework are at the tail bit of it. And we congratulate the county assemblies for a job well done in this area. Again, the county governments have established climate change, apart from the fund, they have established also climate change planning committees. For example, in Makueni, which was one of the first counties to come up with legal framework and dedicated funding, in each of our 30 wards, we have climate change planning committees, and actually some of the representatives are here, some are showing at the exhibition, to say that climate change must be, the implementation must be at the local level, it must be at the grassroots, because if that doesn't happen, then we won't really achieve what we want to achieve. I am very happy, as I conclude, I'm very happy to note that even before Glasgow, the youth of Kenya, through the local conference of youth, themselves were very eloquent on what the youth and what the country should do to combat the climate crisis. And we really applaud the efforts of the youth, and we hope that the youth, the women, persons with disability, disadvantaged communities will be very central in terms of making sure that this agenda is carried forward. I had a conversation with the Engineers Board of Kenya, and they said because of these floods and because of those vagaries, it is important for audits of some of the structures we have built before in the local authority era, and even now, for an audit, not a punitive audit, but a friendly audit to be done so that we can be warned if some of the buildings could be endangered, and we can also use their capacity when we are building major structures, because that is happening. So that we are helped. I believe that after this conference, because now it will be biannual, if it was possible, the alternative here when we don't have this conference, to have a subnational conference on climate change, so that we keep on comparing notes. That would be a very, very positive thing. Just to emphasize, work at the local level, funding for real, and at the local level, and that's why we are very happy with the FLOCA. And I'm standing here also on behalf of the 3 counties of southeastern SECEP, because with Charity Ngilu, Madam Charity Ngilu, Dr. Mutua, we said we were going to work together, and we have done that for this conference. It's not just a Makueni affair. The Makueni First Lady is also here. I forgot to acknowledge her. I don't want a domestic war. And we really would like also the County Assemblies Forum Chair to also come here, because the county assemblies have been very generous in terms of legislation and other matters. So that is really where I want to end, so that I know that take advantage of moderating. And I think the host governor, as they end, would deserve some claps. And now it's my pleasure to call our Vice Chair, Governor Ongwae, who has been the chair of this conference, of the steering committee, to come and also address us. Karibu, Chair of the Steering Committee.